Hey, what is happening, Miles? Big ideas. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Doing good. How's
Yeah,
Florida?
happy Thursday to you as well. It's still bright and sunny here in southern Florida. I'm loving every minute of it. However, that is about to change, heading back north here in just a couple hours. So, hey, Miles, today's going to be a lot of fun. We have another podcaster on, and not just another podcaster, a podcaster from the building industry. And not only does he do podcasts, but he does videos as well. And every once in a while, he wears an American flag suit on the 4th of July. I've seen it myself. Posted right on LinkedIn.
Yeah, he's a perfect mix of the two of us, I think, Dave, with his commitment to both video and audio. It's going to be fun to dive into it.
Yeah, well, he's just like you, Miles. He's an overachiever, and it's just the way it goes. I'm hard-pressed just to keep up with my daily life. You guys seem to be going at light speed with books and podcasts and videos and everything else. But
yeah, says the guy who's going live 6 days a week for a year.
It never feels like it's enough, does it? You always feel like you got to be doing more. That's just the way it goes in this world. So, all right, everybody, thank you for joining us today. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And why are we live on Twitch, Miles?
That's where the next generation is, Dave.
That's where the young folks are, and we need more young folks in our industry because at Dave Cooper, we are bringing you the people and the processes that are building it better. Our guests and topics include experts in building systems, to building science, to building codes, and the tech used to build it better. And today is no different because not only do we have a builder on, but we have an influencer in the space that has learned to utilize technology, social media to better himself and his business. So I think we should bring him on. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. All right, everybody, welcome Bill Reiman to the show. Bill, thank you so much for joining us today.
That was a heck of an intro, Dave. No, I appreciate it.
I know. I should have had you put on your suit, your American flag suit.
I should actually put that on today for this episode. I didn't think about that. That would have been good.
That's right.
Definitely perfect for this episode, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got a lot to unpack, Bill. So before we get started, we ask everybody, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. And don't leave out any of the juicy stuff from the hospital, but you only have about 5 minutes to do it. So the floor is yours.
I don't know if I could go 5 minutes, but I mean, where I was born, I mean, obviously I was born outside of Chicago. My background, getting into that, I grew up in the construction industry. My dad actually did concrete work. He also did custom home building in the Chicago area. Started his business from nothing. So growing up, I actually always had to work. That's kind of how my dad operated. He came from nothing, so he made us work for literally everything. So, I remember being a little kid, I was on job sites, sweeping, I'm doing basically the grunt work until I got older, obviously. I played college football, did that for a little bit. But going back to the building thing, it was a love-hate for me for growing up because of all the kind of, I like to call it grunt work, hard labor that I used to have to do for my dad on job sites and so on. I remember he'd make me do stupid stuff, and to this day now I realize it more now that I'm doing a lot more in the industry, like moving cement blocks from a pile on one side of a job site to the other side of the job site because he said it would make me stronger for football and so on. So my dad was an ex-Marine. He always would put us, me and my siblings, including my sister, all to work. And we always had to work hard for everything. But, with that, I mean, that kind of instilled in me who I am today, or made me who I am today, as far as being a real estate broker and also being a builder too. We have a family operated business. It's Reiman Construction in Naples and Marco Island, Florida, down here in sunshiny Florida, where Dave currently is at the moment for now. And so we do majority luxury custom homes. We don't really do any kind of production home stuff. So right now we're doing majority high end, especially with the demand in the market where we're at. I also do real estate. I kind of took on a real estate career based off of building, why not? I said, so 10 years ago, I got my license, and now I'm also a licensed broker. I've had a lot of success in real estate, and last year as a part-time, because I'm obviously full-time in construction, but last year part-time in real estate, I did 30 million. So I've done pretty well with that. Also started a home watch business based, because obviously being in building, people need home watch because it's very seasonal where I'm located as well. And then I also do the Real Build podcast. That's why I'm here today. That basically came from me wanting to help people learn what to look for in the building and real estate industries, because I felt like there was so many construction podcasts and real estate podcasts teaching you how to be a realtor or how to be in construction, but not enough helping the client.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at today. Love doing media, and that's what we're going to talk about. So
I told you he was an overachiever.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, next time you're on, Bill, you got to warn people they need a pen to start writing all this stuff down.
Yeah, I got more too. I mean, I'm in the process of starting a sports card thing too. I'm into sports because that's made a comeback as well. So
yeah.
if you look at my desk to my right, it is covered in sports cards.
Right, we
now.
can probably do that. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. No,
So over here, I hit it a little up that way. So,
well,
yeah.
All right, so Miles, I saw you getting ready to jump in there. Go ahead, man. Kick this one off.
Yeah, I was just laughing at a part-time 30 million comment for real estate. No big deal. A little side hustle he's got going on.
I love it. love it.
So when it comes to the podcast that you said is sort of why you're here, and this idea of your online persona and how that helps you increase influence, you started it because you wanted to help people not become real estate agents or become builders, but who were navigating, as a buyer. How has that helped fuel that, the part-time real estate gig or the building gig? How have you seen your online stuff with the podcast and video support the offline businesses?
It's helped big time because one of the main thing, and we brushed on this before we started this live, is I'll start here, is if you're not doing video, I personally think in the next upcoming years you're going to be left behind in a lot of ways, just because the power of it.
Right.
Yeah, and influencers like Gary Vee, who I'm sure you guys know and a lot of listeners know too. He's been saying it for years, but now it's so crucial in any business because people learn right off the bat who you are. And that's kind of benefited me too. I have fun with it. I enjoy doing it. It's just, and with the podcast too, I have fun doing that because the connections alone that I've made on the podcast I don't charge anything for it. It's just the connections alone. It's been worth just doing. I don't know what I'm on, 83 episodes or whatever now, but it's helped me. I've had people reach out to me because they've seen my video. Like I've done videos on what to do before purchasing an empty lot where I'm located too. And I've had people reach out to me because of those videos, because they're like, we didn't know this stuff. And we didn't know how much goes into actually just buying a piece of dirt. So I've sold, I think this past year in 2020 alone, I think I did 8 million just off video in sales alone.
Wow.
I sold a house, sold some clients a house. They found me off Facebook. Right. Got a client off LinkedIn. Got them it was a $2.5 million lot. Just off my video on LinkedIn. So it's so powerful. Because these people and the person that hired me off LinkedIn, I was going against one of the top brokers in the area. They were interviewing her as well.
Right.
Well, who did they pick? This guy.
Yeah.
So she doesn't do as much video. She's not in front of the camera. She has other people that work for her doing video, but me, I actually am in front of the camera. I'm doing it. It's huge. It's a must do, and I just don't understand why people aren't.
If you saw, I just put it up a second ago. You mentioned Gary Vee, and I had it up, right? But it is. He says it's the greatest land grab of opportunity that humans have ever seen, social media and the online presence. And right now it's free, and it's not always going to be free. Mm-hmm. But to get back to your point, Bill, you and this other realtor and what video does, because I know this story well, people get to know you on their time. Right? It's not just when you guys connect and talk. They're watching your videos. They're seeing what you're doing out there. They're building a relationship with you after the third shift or after their job or on their lunch break when they're not even talking to you. And I think that's really what the power of the video is, especially if you're like yourself, similar to myself. It's unscripted. It's unedited. You're just walking through your homes, walking through properties. I watch you do it. And you know, I admire how you go about it. But are you finding that that's really the case? That's what's giving you the leg up because you're building a trust with them?
I am. Obviously, we have a reputation. You know, most builders do, and they live by. You know, and there's a lot of builders out there. I'm sure, Dave, you know too, that you know they'll say my reputation alone will get me work, but how long is that going to last? Do you know what I mean? And it's just if you can utilize platforms like social media too, you can reach out to the other people that maybe aren't going to hear about you through the grapevine or past customers or so on. So it's been helping me a lot. I have fun with it. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of people probably listening too that are like, well, it's not easy for me to do it because I don't like being in front of a camera. I don't like doing this. And I was that way too. I mean, my first video I probably took, I don't even remember. It was probably 10 takes, you know, just for the beginning of it. And now, you know, after I think I've been doing it 2 years consecutively now, it just rolls. I mean, it's like, let's film, boom, we're done in 2 minutes. I do my edits. It's simple. I don't over edit everything. Like there's a lot of, you see these real estate videos, all the stuff's changed, things are flying around, you know, it's explosions, stuff like that. Just keep it simple. And people, like you said, Dave, people learn who you are before they meet you, and that's going to make the difference right there, because they're going to either like you or they're not going to like you.
That's right.
So it's going to save you time in the long run, because think about it, if they don't like you because they see you on a video, they're not going to meet with you. And so if you do that video and say they do like you, they already come into that meeting knowing kind of who you are. And they have a more the comfort level is a lot better with you as well. And then if they don't like you, obviously you're not going to waste time, and time's so valuable, and we all know that. So especially in the construction business.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Hey, I always say, and Miles knows it as well, you know, the power's in your pocket. You don't need fancy mics and all of this. I still do like 80%, 90% of my videos when I'm out walking around or doing whatever, right on that. And I upload it. I just put a little $20 lav mic into it, and off I go. Right, Miles?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, phones shooting 4K now. they're better than most people's cameras that are laying around. Right,
for sure.
Bill, you said you do a lot of it yourself and you don't over edit. I'd love to get some context in a weekly time investment. Time's important. You're doing the podcast, you're doing video. You've told us a little bit about the millions of dollars it's made you. What's the input? How much time do you spend in order to get that result?
Time wise, I mean, usually I like to work, so I get home obviously, and a lot of my nighttime stuff, like I'll be up late, and whether I'm editing or I'm looking at sports cards now. eBay's one of the addicting things for me now too. But it's I'll be up late. You know, I'll do different edits, stuff like that. But time wise, you know, I have my intros. I have kind of the outro video already set up. I use iMovie. I keep it simple. I have a Mac. It's very simple, user friendly. And
it's free, right?
Yeah, and free. I mean, I've self-taught myself pretty much, in which anybody can. If you just take a little bit of time, you can literally drag a video from your home screen or your desktop right into iMovie and drop it, then right click and edit stuff. It's really easy, and you don't really need transitions, all that kind of stuff. But without getting into too much detail, I mean, time wise, it's, you know, I can spend an hour and I can probably get through a couple of videos. I mean, the most time it takes is uploading to YouTube, to be honest with you. So it's like, you know, that's kind of, and then implementing all the word, you know, all your verbiage and all that stuff in. But it's really, if you don't overthink stuff, I mean, a lot of people just overthink it, to be honest with you. And they say, well, I don't have the time. I can't do that. When would I ever have the time? If you have, like Dave said, if you have a camera, you got your phone. I mean, Instagram stories are huge. And I've been trying to do more of those where if I'm out at a job site, just pull out my phone real quick and start talking about what's going on, because people want to hear it, believe it or not. You wouldn't think they would as a builder on the builder end or even on the real estate end. You wouldn't really think, but like a lot of my content that I'm doing, people have actually come up to, that I've met with. They're like, hey, I watched your video on 20 things you need to look for before building a new home. It was awesome. I love that one point about this. And that makes you feel good. You're like, wow, you're actually watching my stuff, So.
Isn't that that is the, to me was the most odd part when I started this is people would start walking into our design center and they'd be, hey, you're the guy on TV or social media. My wife loved that white house with that white subway tile backsplash and the Korean cat, ... And they're having this full conversation with me and I've never met them. I mean, that's kind of like what you're explaining. And all of a sudden you're just having this, conversation with somebody. They feel like they know you and you're like, when you first start getting into this, you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
But thank you for selling my product to me.
Yeah. Well, you build that comfort with them.
That's
like
right.
I said, they see who you are. They see your personality in video. They see everything up front before even meeting you.
That's right.
And that builds that comfort level. And it helps you too with the initial meeting. A lot of the build jobs we're getting is because people saw the media presence online now, because so many people are on Facebook in general now, and not, obviously each thing, TikTok, all that kind of stuff has their different demographics more than the other, but, utilizing Facebook, it's just, if you can utilize that correctly and more organic, that's all I'm doing, organic. I'm not even advertising on there anymore. My stuff's getting shared. People are seeing it, because friends and all that. It's so worth doing too. You just got to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
If you had to restart it today, Bill, after all and all the tricks you've kind of rattled off, people that are watching that aren't in the game, they're thinking about starting. If you could go back and restart, what's one thing you do differently?
That's a good question. Differently, I don't know. I mean, because I started with video, I probably do more. I don't know. Probably do more because I was hesitant at first, and I would overcompensate, over edit, over try, and I wouldn't just put it out there. So I guess do more video, more content, but also do less thinking about it and less caring about it too, because what stops people the most from doing it is what other people think. But in general, a lot of people don't really care as much as you really think they are caring, about what you're doing. And the more I've done it, the more people that I don't talk to, really, or I see out in public that I haven't seen, they're like, man, you're killing it, man, you're doing great, and you start being like, all right, yeah, it's a good thing that I do all this. The way we see your videos, man, good job. Like, because like I said, you overthink this stuff, and it's actually by you overthinking it, you're not getting yourself out there. You're not showing people what you actually do too.
Yeah.
People wouldn't know I'm in the building industry. People wouldn't know I'm even a real estate broker if I didn't put it out by video, because, well, their sources do you have? What are you going to do? Newspaper ads, stuff like that. It's like, there's tens of thousands of realtors in this area now. Everybody that moves to Florida gets their real estate license. So, like, how are you going to be a leg up from the competition? Even with builders, Dave, this, when things get busy, the thing is that everybody with a pickup truck becomes Joe Builder. So it's like, painters do, all these guys, they want a piece of the action. And it's like, how do you stand out from the rest? How are you getting your story out too? Me being in a family business, okay, we're known for our quality. We're known for our detail, attention to detail. Well, how do I get that out there? I got to talk about it through video. I can't just tell one customer at a time, because every builder is going to say that same thing. We pay attention to the details. We build a better product than everybody. But if I can actually show it on video and they're seeing my product, who's got the leg up when the other builder isn't doing that?
And you're right. I mean, it's all about not getting eliminated when you're in the market, right? And it gives you an opportunity to not be eliminated because the customers are going to talk to other builders as well if they're doing their homework. That's kind of the golden rule. So we're going to hop into the podcast side of this in a minute, but with the videos, you said you would do more, and I really, why would you do more? I mean, you're already doing a lot. Why would you want to do more? Is it just because it's that powerful for you?
It is, yeah, and it's getting you out there. The more content you can produce, and doing more. I mean, like producing and more. Obviously, I can't be like Gary Vee where he's popping out 3, 4, 5 videos a day. Like that's just unheard of.
Yeah, but he has 20 people doing that.
Yeah, and I wish I had 20. Maybe I hope in the future goal right there, I'll have 20 people doing it for me too, and I'm sure you'd do the same, Dave. It's just, and same with you, Miles. It's the more content you can put out there and the more people can see what you're actually doing. And I've been doing a little series too. I got to launch one today. It's just finding the time. Times, obviously we all say that word, but I'll probably, if I don't post it during the day because of work, I'll post it at night. Like I'm doing a little series of how it's built, like showcasing how houses are built down here.
I love it. And
because people don't know, I mean, my construction's different than your construction. Obviously and you're seeing that where you're at right now. I mean, we're driving pilings, and then we're doing slabs above at a certain point above sea level. And
where's the basement?
No basements. You dig 6 feet down, you're hitting water where I'm at. So it's just it's a way. When I say do more, I want to show people more. And do, I wish I would have done, because I didn't do it wrong. Obviously I could say that I wish I would have not been as hesitant to do it, I guess, but everybody's hesitant to do it. There's not one person that does video that's not going to hesitate and be like, oh, I look dumb. Oh, I look, it's part of doing it. I mean, once you get past that, it's just you don't care. I mean, Dave, you're probably at the same with you, Miles. You're both at the point where you just put it out there.
Well, listen, you're right. Because we're going to go to some comments real quick in a second here. But how much time did we prep for this show, Bill? You and I. What we get on? Just 20 minutes prior, 15 minutes prior?
Probably 15.
Well, that's it. You just have to do it. People like the authenticity of doing it. I say it all the time, and Miles says it too. It's just reality TV is big for a reason because people are tired of the canned message. They're tired of people just reaching in their pocket with a canned message. They want to know the real deal. They want to know the real person and the real stories. So, Miles, why don't we take a couple comments here? And there's a question in there as well. Let's say hi to a few people real quick. We got good old Joel Hutchins. What's happening, Joel? San Fran, man. What are you doing in San Fran? Weren't you just in Australia? Good to see you, Joel, man. Splash Modular, Revia. Check it out. Parametric design. Love it. Hey, we got Better Construction with Sean McStay. What is happening, Sean? Excited about this program. Thanks for sharing this episode, Dave. I don't know if you know Sean McStay, but that's a podcast you should be on, and I'm sure he'll reach out to you. Super great guy. He works with Siga. If you're familiar with Siga tapes and house air barriers and wraps, super cool guy. We got Buzz Holitzer. What's happening, Buzz? Howdy from the windy, sunny, cold Michigan. Love it. And we have David S. Is there a minimum length you would suggest for a video, or is it just good to get it out there and be present and talking about relevant and current things in the industry? I'll let you go ahead and answer that, Bill. That's for you. Go for it.
I mean, obviously the shorter, they say, like, because of attention span, you want an attention grabber at the beginning. But if some of mine have been like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and it hasn't. And a lot of people will watch all the way through, and especially in the building business as well. It's there's so much things to go through, and especially in a bigger house or even in real estate. As long as you're having fun with it, and you're not boring and just saying, "Well, look at the living room here," or "Look at the kitchen, isn't it nice?" You have fun. You show your personality. People are they're gonna tune in. They're gonna watch it. So I mean, and shorter, they always say shorter videos are better but I think more and more people are going to get into longer videos because, YouTube, all this kind of this stuff's becoming kind of the new norm for media. and they want for me to showcase how a house is done and things are done in a house. It takes some time too. So, but I try and speed through as much as, I can without kind of sitting and boring people, be entertaining. So,
well, entertaining that you just like your product. You show your excitement for the product because you're excited to show it off. If you don't like what you do, that'll translate pretty quick that you don't like what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Like wearing American flag pants. Sorry,
that's a good
or American flag suit. Yeah,
so. I love it. I gotta get me one. We had another guest on not too long, Sean Saint Amour from Canada, and he showed up with a what's the Frosty the Snowman suit. It was a blue suit with little Frosty the Snowman all over it. I'm telling you guys, I don't know where you shop, but I got to figure it out. Definitely got to figure it out. So, all right, Bill. So here you're doing videos, but you're also now doing podcasts. What was the purpose for adding the podcast to everything that you're doing?
I had a lot of people I know that were in the podcasting world. As far as I'm in a group called the Arte Syndicate, and it's an entrepreneur group filled with a bunch of different people. But a lot of them I've connected with and become actually good friends with. Had podcasts at the time, right. So I was always intrigued. I knew podcasting was an up and coming, or it's not really up and coming. It's been around for a little bit, but it's very important in a lot of ways, and it's a great source of a lot. I mean, we'll go back to Gary Vee once again. I mean, podcasting is like, you got audio, you got video in it too. I mean, you can clip everything together in different individual clips. There's so much media you can pull out of one podcast. So getting more involved in media, I was like, why not? Let's try it. Me and Miles talked about it before the show. My first podcast, I still haven't listened to it. I don't want to listen to it. It's probably so horrible. But I mean, going along like I have, the connections I've made, I don't charge anything. I don't advertise on it. I just do it because I enjoy doing it. It's fun. I meet new people, and it's also helping people too. Yeah. So that was one of my main things with it, is like I said, is there wasn't really any building podcasts or real estate podcasts teaching people what to look for with those specific industries. And I go broad with them too. I mean, today at 5:00, I got an episode I'm recording with a interior closet designer, custom closets. Right. So I'm trying to hit those little niche things that, if somebody's doing a custom closet, they want to listen to this girl. She's from Los Angeles area. She does a lot of high-end closet stuff too, and how they can do maybe affordable closets. So it's just hitting things that people don't really know in the podcasting realm, but also you get the video content too out of it, and I have it on YouTube as well. It's just it's huge.
Yeah, for sure. That's your world, Miles, right?
Yeah. Well, something I recently learned about video and podcasts, because I was, I dragged my feet on video. I was audio first and then got into video. But now, and we were talking about Anchor before we hit record, Bill. And Anchor, if you guys are, anybody watching, thinking about starting a podcast, or you do video and you're thinking, how do I start a podcast without a crazy amount of extra effort? You can actually upload your video file to Anchor, and it creates an audio file from it without you doing anything, no converting or anything. So the technology just makes it easier and easier. And there's definitely a way to get it done. If you want to find a way to get it done, just like if you want to find an excuse to not do it, those are easy to come by too.
Yeah, no, Anchor's huge. I love Anchor. I've used it since day one. It's easy, it's free. So I mean, kind of gets out a lot of excuses right there too. So if you're thinking about podcasting, you have a lot of thoughts in your head, you have a topic you want to talk about, just launch podcasts. Yeah. People will listen. I mean, I got people from, I don't even know, all these different countries. It's crazy. Yeah. Listening to me. I'm like, why from there are you listening to me? But they do. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, people love the podcast. You're right. I mean, we got people from Australia, from Estonia, Saudi Arabia, all over the world. And I think, I think that's where we're at. It's a global community. And hey, people in Saudi Arabia and other parts of the country are looking to move to Florida, right? I mean, that's the way it works. And but the conversations are fun, right? It's fun to learn from other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the global thing's funny. I think last year for a couple of weeks I had a top 10 podcast in South Africa. I got the note about where like hitting a chart. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? Why that one interview? Who knows?
Yeah.
It's cool. So much more is possible than most people think.
Yeah. I mean, and with podcasting too, you can't really, in numbers wise, a lot of people stress about the numbers and how many listeners they're getting. But with podcasts, you have to understand, which I was one of those people. I was like, why aren't there so many people listening to? And now I look at my numbers, and the thing with podcasting is everybody goes to different episodes. They don't just listen to the recent one you released. Obviously, a lot of people will, you know, follow your podcast, but they also want to check out different topics too within that podcast, and that's why I'm hitting on so many different ones. Like I had one of my most popular ones is with an interior designer. She's out of Beverly Hills, and it was a great episode. Me and her clicked really well. It was more of a conversation like we're having, just, you know, no question, not really scripted Q&A. It's just free flowing, and that episode did really well. So, and that's going back to people being uncomfortable. If you don't want to do video, well, there's an option. You have audio too. And me and Miles were talking about that with Clubhouse. You know, that's new, up and coming. A lot of people are like, "What's Clubhouse?" But it's an audio thing where you can get in rooms and connect and network and help people too, and talk like we are today without being on camera. So there's so many different outlets that can elevate your business. It's just kind of getting off the couch and doing it, and not making the excuses of why not to do it.
Yeah. So talking about excuses, what excuses do you find, Bill? Because it makes sense, right? Why isn't everyone doing this? You've had so much success. You know, Dave and I have had our different versions of success. We get it. But there are people watching this already rationalizing away why you can do it and they can't. So what are some other excuses or reasons why people don't do it that you've heard?
I mean, and going into that, I've made the same excuses. So I'll just, you know, it's what are people going to think is the major thing within your scope of, or group or whatever. If you got a Facebook, you know the people that follow you to an extent, and you overthink that, because a lot of the way you need to look at that aspect of things is everybody has their own lives. I mean, they're not so much concerned about you. If they are concerned about you, I mean, they're probably not doing much themselves. It's more of a jealousy thing than anything. If you look at reality, most people that, you know, support you are going to support you. I mean, I had some buddies that would when I first started my podcast, they would joke around about it, but now it's blown, you know, it's getting bigger. I'm consistent with it, and they don't say anything. They actually listen to it and say it's really good. So,
I had the same thing. I relate to that.
They would be like, "Oh, nice podcast, man." You know, it's just you're gonna have your friends that joke around with you, but video too. My friends, you know, your video, they all watch my video. I put humor into them too, and you know, things that stop people, that's the major one, is what other people think. I don't look good on camera. It's self-confidence, stuff like that. But when you start doing it, because I went through this, we all have self-confidence things. We all have it makes you more confident. You learn a lot of it too, as you speak better, you actually are better on camera, you're better in front of people, you're more confident, people see that, which leads into you being better at your sales end of things too. There's a lot of growth that comes from it, you know, and I've seen that personally. You know, I don't have time. There's that big excuse too. Well, make time. I mean, we all have enough time in a day. You don't really need your 10 hours of sleep at night and your beauty rest. You don't need to take that afternoon nap. I'm not a napper. I mean, sorry. I think a nap's a waste of time. So I'm programmed that way. I'll go to Starbucks instead of take a nap, you know, and then go through a drive-through that'll take me 2 minutes. So it's make the time to do it. Like I said, you know, obviously I have a girlfriend. I spend time with her. It's you got to have that work-life balance too, but you also have to have a partner that's willing to allow you to have that work-life balance too. I mean, I've had a partner that didn't allow me to do that. That's why that's no longer my partner, you know? So it's life's choices, stuff like that. But in the end, I mean, excuse wise, Miles, I mean, you went through it, Dave, you went through it. We've all had our personal excuses of why not to do it. and everybody knows within themselves, like if you're telling yourself, I can't do video, you know the reason why, but it's not a good excuse. There's always time. There's always time to do it.
And it doesn't take that much time if you just you just got to get over yourself. You got to do it scared. I'm 100% with you. And listen, I tell the story all the time. When I did my first live video in one of our homes, I paced around for like 2 hours before I hit that go live button because I was sweating. My palms were sweaty. I was scared. It is what it is. But what I found out is people watched, but nobody really, they were interested in what I was talking about. And they started asking questions. I still have yet to anybody tell me how ugly I am, maybe I do need more beauty sleep. Maybe I am the guy that needs a nap, Bill, that help my hair grow back, as we always say. Let's give a couple shout outs here. We got some more comments coming in. Tom Reddy's joining us. Hey, Tom. Hey, guys. Great show. Thanks, Tom. Love it. All right. We got Certify Osenta. I'm on podcast M80 Osenta. All right. Perfect. And I use speaker.com for my podcasting. So I guess that's another one. Oh, he's busy today. We got some more going here. All right. Certified Osenta. It allowed me and helped me to promote my own music, giving me a platform to use. My podcast name is M80 Osenta. I'm independent, trying to make something out of nothing. That's it, right? It's the hustle. It's the grind. It's the grind. Here's somebody you need to know, Bill, and I'm going to tell you why. Maybe you do know him. Steve Basic. I don't know if you know the Build Show with Matt Reisinger. If you've ever seen that on YouTube, Steve Basic is part of that channel and has his own shows that he does on the Build Show. He's also an architect, big into energy efficiency, green, healthy homes. We had him on the show not too long ago. His daughter, Alexandria, is also an architect. But if you want to know the best, one of the best well-known architects in this country, especially somebody that really knows their building science, Steve Basic's the way to go. What's up, Steve? Glad to see you. He'd be a fun one to have on your podcast.
Yeah, I need to connect with him, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, that's what doing this is all about, and this is why we do it. So, right? Looking at, he said, "Hello, gentlemen. Hello. Hey, what's happening?" But you definitely want to check out his show, and you definitely want to follow him on YouTube because you know what he does? He actually has he's the red pen guy, and he sits there and he has a vertical camera. And he walks you through why he designed something a certain way on his plans and redlines it. And that's so cool. It's cool. A great learning experience, and they do a really good job. I mean, the whole team, awesome stuff. All right, that's enough about you, Steve. I got to go. All right, love him. So, man, it always goes fast, right? We're already almost at 45 minutes, 42 minutes. It just zips by, especially when you're down here. I got flip-flops on, Miles.
For now.
Try wearing flip-flops in Connecticut this time of year.
Yeah, you could. It'd be some salty heat.
I know it. Well, even we're going up to Alabama, and it's cold there. It's like 50 degrees during the day and 30 at night. And, when you're from the north, you think it's supposed to be warm. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. Bill, what can we expect from you in the future, man? So we already know you're going to work on doing more content. You're working on getting into the card trading business. Sports cards business. And that's a big thing Gary Vee's been pushing, like you said, all the time. Gary Vaynerchuk, you mentioned a few times, and Miles and I are both advocates, or viewers of Gary, and he's absolutely right. I mean, this is the greatest opportunity that since the land grabs happened back in the day. And he always said that the number one asset in life is people's attention. Mm-hmm. And getting people's attention is right now, especially on social media, because there's so much noise out there. If you're not creating, you don't stand out. And especially when everybody's at home today. All right, not in Florida, but in other parts of the country, everybody's, more at home and on Zoom. So I don't know. How else do you stick out from the crowd? How else do you become an expert? How else do you get known for being the best at what you do if you're not doing video, like you said, or podcast, or writing a book or blog or something, right?
Yeah, no, you definitely, and that's what this show is all about too, is you definitely need to get out of your comfort zone and just do it. Like I struggled with it. We've all struggled with it. It's just, like you said, Dave's pacing, sweaty palms, we've all had that where we were all hesitant to just press the record button. I mean, you don't even have to do live stuff too. I mean, you just, majority of my stuff's all recorded. I love doing this. I mean, that's
Right.
yes about future stuff. I want to do more of this. I want to do more other podcasts, going on other people's podcasts. That's been one thing. I actually hired a company to start helping me with some of that stuff because I don't have all the time in the world to reach out. Obviously, I want to continue to grow my podcast as well, and keep doing. I've been consistent with that, doing every single week, and then the content too. That creation, I want to keep that going as well, and expand on it too. Get a little more active on different channels. We talked about TikTok. I don't know how to utilize it. I'm not one to dance around on a job site. So, I mean, but that's not an excuse to not do it. I mean, there's different ways you can utilize it too. Clubhouse is big. That's up and coming right now. I mean, I think they're already past 10 million subscribers on that too, which Miles knows about as well. It's fun, easy platform. And it's doing more and also helping people along the way. I mean, the more you give,
That's right.
the more you receive. And that's the thing is, and I'm a big advocate on that, is just doing it right. I want to expand our company, our building company more throughout this, eventually throughout the state, but just expand more into the Naples area and then kind of go maybe up eventually to the St. Petersburg area, stuff like that. That's a long term. And then real estate wise, I have some meetings going on, maybe expand on that a little bit and not do, I each year I've gone more and more into real estate and there's opportunity obviously there too. So hopefully something comes out of that. But if you're not doing video, you need to do it. If you're not doing a podcast, do it. Stop making excuses. I used to do the same thing. Just launch something and you will see a lot of people. You'll get a very positive, more positive than negative
response, right? And that's exactly it. But you got to be consistent. You're not going to do one and hit a home run. I mean, some people may with this, what is it? Powerball's over $1 billion or something now, but you know how hard it is to win that $1 billion if you think of how many people are spending money on that right now. Well, listen, Steve, I'll give one more shout out. Steve Basic says, love you, man. Thanks. So good. So you've had two podcasters that I know of on here, Steve, or, and video guys. So those are two that you can connect with since you're trying to grow your podcast business. But I think that's it, everybody. You gotta reach out. You got to keep doing it. You got to stay consistent, and you just got to be in front of people. And Bill, I love doing live. You want to know why? Because when I'm done, I'm done. I'm not home editing at night. It's live. We edit the intros and outros out a little bit here and there, but I have some help with those things, and it can get done real quick. And you get, just like you said, most people, we didn't hit on this, Miles, but maybe you should talk about it. When you do a video podcast, what do you get out of a video podcast? Like you get the video.
Yeah, you get the video, you get the audio, and then you get infinite number of pieces of micro content, right?
And blogs, you got the blog out of it. So it's three pieces.
You transcribe it to get the written word to turn to blog. Yeah, it's like the tip of the pyramid, and then you can just exponentially grow from there. Yeah,
100%. Well, listen, guys, this has been an awesome episode. I'm glad everybody joined us today. Steve Basic, certified. I think I say that all right. Is Osenta? How do you say? I'm not sure.
I thought you did. Yeah.
Did I say it right? Osenta, certified Osenta. I'm not
Phonetically,
sure what that means.
Go with. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to Google. I'll have to Google that one. David S., Buzz Holitzer, Better Construction with Sean McStay. You guys need to connect for sure. And good old Joel Hutchins doing amazing things. So, Bill, stick with us here on our outro. We'll come back and wrap up offline. But I want to thank everybody for definitely joining us today. And SF followed both of them on IG. Perfect. Steve Basic's already on you. That's it.
Cool.
Just followed you guys. But I want to thank both of you for taking the time today. Miles, you're always awesome. Author, TED Talk speaker, top 5 podcast, not only in this country, but in other countries. Bill Reiman's the same way, making millions of dollars in real estate, building houses, trading sports cards. And you guys are awesome, dude. I need to hang out with more overachievers so I can get as much done. And I'd like to have some $30 million deals this week. Maybe.
Yeah, seriously.
That's it, Bill. I'm not leaving. In fact, you and I are going to partner up. We're just going to own the whole southern half. If all I have to do is do video and understand construction and real estate, I bet we could clean up house down here.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, because there's not a lot of them too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I did. Yeah, and then just to correct, I wish I had $30 million in my pocket, but eventually one time I will. But I sold 30 million.
That's it, right. There you go. There you go. Well, listen, I got high hopes for you. So, all right, everybody, you two stick right there. I'm Dave Cooper, Miles Biggs Idea, and Bill Reiman, host of the Real Build podcast. You guys have a wonderful day. We will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Building Science. And guess what? We're going to talk about how bike racks are once again changing our future. Do not miss it. I'm Dave Cooper. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.